Hey YouTube, welcome to Late Night Frights. I am your Friday host, Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre. I'm fairly new to the channel. Basically, I've gotten past my 2-week trial and I'm an official full member, so this week is actually a theme week. We're doing Cannibal Week this week. I hope you guys have checked out everybody else's reviews. I really don't know what everybody else kind of had going on, because when we do the meetings on Skype, my connection kind of bounces off and on, so I've kind of been keeping an eye on what the other guys on there have been reviewing. But like I said, it is Cannibal Week, and like I said, I hope you guys check out everybody else's videos, and I am here on Friday with you guys, but by the time you see this, it'll probably be like early Saturday, and I can basically explain why. I'm doing physical therapy 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so by the time I get out of physical therapy, I'm like pretty sore, and I usually have to crash out for a nap. And dude, what I've been planning to do was film these videos the night before, like on Thursday night, that way I can get them uploaded on Friday in time, but that kind of fell through this week. I didn't get much sleep on Thursday, so I figured after physical therapy, I can get a little nap in, but like I said, it'll probably be early Saturday when you guys see this, but I am getting it done, and I am here with you guys to review the original Wrong Turn for Cannibal Week. This is actually one of my favorite newer slasher movies. You got a fantastic cast. You got Desmond Harrington, you got Eliza Dushku, you got Emmanuel Strictly from Entourage, you got Jeremy Sisto, you got Kevin Zegers in a small appearance. You guys might know him from the Dawn of the Dead remake, as well as Air Bud back in the day. But basically, it's about these 5, like 20-something or college-age kids, and they're in the backwoods of West Virginia, and they're basically trying to escape these 3 inbred cannibals. And basically, it starts out, you got Desmond Harrington, who some of you may know from the movie Ghost Ship, and he's driving through West Virginia. He's on his way to the state of Virginia for, I think he's in med school, and he's on his way to like some kind of meeting to become like a pre-med or something at a hospital, and he ends up getting stuck in a traffic jam, and he finds out it's going to be a few hours wait, so he goes to the semi-truck that's parked in front of him and asks what's going on, and the driver tells him there's like a toxic waste or an oil spill or something like that, and so he asks the guy like what he can do to get around it, and the truck driver's basically really snotty. He goes, what you need to do is get back in your car, fix your hair a couple more times. And so Desmond Harrington, he just gets annoyed and walks off back to his car. And it's actually cool because he's driving this really classic Mustang, and the Mustang is probably my all-time favorite car. But he gets back in his car and turns around, heads for this dirt road, and he finds this gas station where there's this really, it's like this old man sitting there, and he's kind of like he's got like teeth missing and all that, and he's sipping Pepto-Bismol from the bottle, and so he asks him like if there's a shortcut anywhere, and he's looking at this old map, and he finds this side road called Bear Mountain Road, and so he decides to take that, and like he said, he has a small conversation with the guy, and he says take care of the guy, and gets back in his car and drives off for Bear Mountain Road, while the guy is sitting in a chair, and you know it's gonna be bad because the guy says, you're the one gonna need to take care. And so Desmond Harrington, he takes off for Bear Mountain Road, and he's basically changing CDs in his car, not looking where he's going. So he crashes into this SUV, which has Eliza Dushku and some of her friends, like Jeremy Sisto, Emmanuel Shriqui, and Kevin Zegers, and I think one other girl, and basically smashes their SUV all up, trashes his car. So him, Emmanuel Shriqui, Jeremy Sisto, and Eliza Dushku, they all go off looking for help, and they basically leave Kevin Zegers and the girl he's with. They decide to stay with the cars and kind of wait for help, but they actually stay there to get high and mess around. So basically, the four of them I mentioned, they're off searching for help, and you got Kevin Zegers and his girl, they're getting high, doing whatever, And Kevin Zegers, he goes off to take a leak and he ends up disappearing. So his girlfriend goes to look for him, and she walks off into the woods, finds one of his ears laying on the ground, and it's all bloody and everything. So she kind of freaks out, backs up, and then like you don't see it happen, but you see like barbed wire like wrapped around her mouth, and it basically kind of just chokes her out, and you can actually see it cutting into her mouth. It's just a really cool effect. Actually, before I get further into the review, I'm going to tell you guys the effects were done by the late, great Stan Winston. May he rest in peace, one of the greatest special effects artists of all time. But back to my review, you got Desmond Harrington, Eliza Dushku, and they're all looking for help, and they discover this old house. And so they go in and start looking around for a phone, and basically there's no phone. Desmond Harrington looks in this fridge and he finds all these body parts, and he just gets really freaked out. He goes to Eliza Dushku and he's like, we gotta get out of here. And then you hear this old truck pull up, and it's this really old beat up yellow truck, so all four of them hide in different places. And this is when you see the cannibals for the first time, and they're really deformed. They're just really messed up. I mean, they're pretty much impervious to pain. I'm trying to remember. They're like really strong, like I said, impervious to pain. But you basically see them bring in Kevin Zegers and his girlfriend, who they've just killed, and you get kind of like the camera zooms into the keyhole where you can see Emmanuel Shrieky's eye looking through, and she basically sees what they're doing to Kevin Zegers' girlfriend, who of course that was one of Eliza Dushku and her friends, and you can see him start like chopping her up and putting the body parts in like this pot or whatever to start cooking them, and she just freaks out. And so they wait a little bit, and they wait until the cannibals are sleeping, and they decide that it's high time to head out of there. So they basically, they start sneaking out one by one. You got Desmond Harrington, he's holding the door spring so it doesn't squeak, and it's cutting into his hand, and everybody else gets out except for him, because by the time he's about to get out, one of the cannibals wakes up and is looking right at him. So he just books it out of there, followed by the other three, you know, like, go, go, run, run. They start running. The cannibals, they jump into the truck and start chasing them. Like they've actually got a shotgun on them. And so Desmond Harrington, he takes a shot in the leg, which brings him down. And of course you got Emmanuel Shrieky and Desmond and Jeremy Sisto. They're providing a distraction so that the cannibals will go after them. And Eliza Dushku, she's trying to help Desmond Harrington, and basically she gets him up and kind of starts like getting him to hobble out of there. And so basically Desmond Harrington, Eliza Dushku, and Emmanuel Shrieky, they steal the cannibal's truck and start driving off. And meanwhile Jeremy Sisto, he's running through the woods like trying to get away, and the other three, they're driving down the dirt road, like trying to find him, and then they see him running through the woods, and basically they stop and try and get him to run to the truck, which he starts doing, but all of a sudden, you see an arrow pop through him, then like a second and a third, and so basically, the cannibals got him, and they got him with a bow and arrow in the back, so he falls over dead. And the other three drive off. Emmanuel Shrieky, she's all freaking out, losing it, because Jeremy Sisto was actually like her fiance, and so she's all panicking, you know, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna die. And they actually come to, I think it's like the cannibals have put this huge tree trunk right in the road, and it basically stops them. So the three of them get out of the truck, start running through the woods, and of course the cannibals now, they've got their truck back, and so they're giving chase. They basically, like, they get to this, like, watchtower. It's like an old watchtower, and there's like a huge ladder they have to climb up to get into it. So you got them climbing up the ladder. The cannibals, they're coming after them. Basically they barricade the door of the watchtower, and they find a radio in there, so they try and radio for help, which it actually works, but the radio makes this like a really loud screeching noise, which of course gets the cannibals' attention. And of course, since the cannibals can't get in, they decide to set fire to the watchtower. So the only choice that Desmond Harrington, Eliza Dushku, and Emmanuel Shrieky have is to jump out the window and start going through the tree branches. So they're out going through the tree branches, and of course the cannibals are right behind them. Basically, they get to this one branch, and Desmond Harrington and Eliza Dushku, they both make the jump, but the next thing you know, Emmanuel Shriekwee, she's kind of like nervous and about to chicken out. All of a sudden, whack! You see her getting axed like right across the mouth, and her head, the top of her head is sitting on top of the axe, and you actually see the rest of her body basically just kind of tumble to the ground. So you got Eliza Dushku and Desmond Harrington, they're all freaking out. They're still going through the trees, and if I remember correctly, Eliza Dushku, she ends up falling out of the trees, and the cannibals end up catching her. So they basically got her trapped in their house, basically, and Desmond Harrington, of course, he's got to go after her. So the final act, you basically got Eliza Dushku, like I said, she's trapped in the cannibal's house, and they got her all tied up with barbed wire and stuff. So, and she's just watching as they get ready to like chop her up, cook her, and eat her, and she's all freaking out. Next thing you know, Desmond Harrington, he actually finds a cop, but of course, too late. Cannibals kill the cop, and they take the cop's truck. Well, Desmond Harrington, he's smart enough to hang on to the undercarriage of the truck, and of course, the cannibals are driving back to their house, and they don't know that Desmond Harrington's hanging on underneath it. So you get like this final showdown, you know. Desmond Harrington, he's fighting the cannibals, and he basically gets Eliza Dushku free and basically starts fighting the cannibals. You know, he's hitting them with like a huge stick or something. I think he tries shooting them, but I'm not too sure on that. If I remember the ending correctly, like, it's been a while since I watched this. I'm kind of reviewing it blindly based on what I know because I've seen it so many times, but you get the last few minutes where Desmond Harrington and Eliza Dushku, they get in the cop's truck that was killed a few minutes earlier in the movie, and they basically just charge it right into the cannibal's house. And from what I remember, Desmond Harrington, he's got the cannibal's shotgun, so, and there's like a gas can on the back of the truck. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that, but like I said, there's a gas can on the back of the cop's truck. So Desmond Harrington fires a couple shots at the gas can, blows up the truck, then blows up the cannibal's house, like kaboom. And so basically you think that's the end. You know, Desmond Harrington and Eliza Dushku, they finally get away. You actually see them in the cannibal's truck. They drive up to the gas station, and that creepy old guy who I mentioned earlier that Desmond Harrington met in the film, he kind of like goes into the old gas station thinking it's the cannibals, and he's watching, and you see Desmond Harrington like limp out because he, like I said, he's got shot earlier in the movie in the leg, so he's pretty much limping. But he limps out, goes to the map, and just rips it down, gets back in the truck. Him and Eliza Dushku drive off, and so that's when the end credits start. But you also get like a little post-credit scene where you get a cop driving up to the ruins of the cannibal's house, and he actually sees the body of the cop that was killed. So he goes to radio for help, and then next thing you know, there's like the lead cannibal who's still alive after being burned up, beat up, whatever you want, well, like everything that was done to him, and he kills the cop, and that's pretty much how the movie ends. But actually, like that, like I said, that's how it ends. But as the credits roll, and I don't know how many of you guys will like pay attention to like music during the end credits, but the end credit song for this movie is actually done by one of my favorite bands, Breaking Benjamin. They do a song called Wish I May, which is actually from their very first album, and it's one of those songs that when I hear that song, I just think of this movie, because like I said, it plays at the end, and I love Breaking Benjamin, favorite band, and it just gets you like what's gonna happen next. And of course, you know, there was sequel after sequel. Of course, as you can see, this is actually the double pack of 1 and 2, but I do have the other 3, and according to Bloody Disgusting, they've actually, a week or 2 ago, they released set pictures from part 6, so the first set pictures from part 6 are on the internet. It is being worked on right now, so I would say go to bloodydisgusting.com. Like, if you're a fan of the Wrong Turn series and you want to see what's going on with part 6, go to bloodydisgusting.com and look into it. Like, I haven't looked into it myself, and I know I need to, so I'll probably do that at some point in the near future here. But that was my review of Wrong Turn for Late Night Frights. Once again, I am your Friday host, Little Rocker Cutie. Keep it forever horror, guys. I'm telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, enjoy some Starburst, and in the immortal words of my faithful partner Buffy Zenaman, also known as Chris, who you guys probably don't know unless you follow my channel, he always says, eat some chicken, and I'll see you guys next week for a horror battle.